Welcome to another episode of the Weekend Experience. We're here at Little Manatee River State Park, located in Wimauma, Florida, just south of Sun City Center off of US 301. In the old days, you had to pay the ranger at the ranger station to get the lot combination, but these days they've set up an iron ranger with envelopes to collect money at the trailhead. We'll be doing the 6.5 mile hike, which has its own separate entrance from the main entrance to the park as it's on the north side of the river. The hike is a double-stacked loop, which means if you want to cut it short, there's a cross trail in the middle, which cuts the distance in half. I wouldn't though, as the best parts of the park are in the back half of the big loop. The trail starts with about a 1/10 of a mile hike to get to the loop itself. There's a bit of mud, so it will take some careful foot placement to avoid losing a shoe. Not that I'd know anything about that. Most of the muddy sections will have a boardwalk to keep you out of it though. Here it is, the start of the loop. If you're into trail running, this loop makes a perfect 10K. While most of the signs signal to go around the loop clockwise, the better experience is to go counterclockwise. That way the experience of the hike continues to build all the way around. There really isn't anywhere to get lost on this trail, but I'll remember to follow the yellow blazes. The trail starts off with a pine forest filled with ferns. The park rangers do controlled burns to help keep out the invading oak trees. The land for the park was originally purchased in 1974 to provide recreational activities to residents of the Tampa area. It didn't open to the public until 1987 though. Since then, it's offered residents canoe rentals, freshwater fishing, and campsites with both water and electrical hookups. If you're a horseback rider, there are trails and campsites available for that as well. As the trail winds around, we begin to see more palmetto bushes and younger pine trees. We've finally reached the cross trail, but we're going to continue on. As we continue through the park, we see many of the trees that came down during Hurricane Irma. The paths have been cleared, but the trees remain. There's only one steep spot on the trail where you have to go down a steep incline for about 15 feet. It's all smooth sailing after that. Here's our first stream crossing. I look for alligators, but I've yet to find one here. That said, I'm sure they're nearby somewhere. Now this is more like it. No alligators here, but I'm alright with that. This part of the forest is a bit creepy. Most of the pine trees above us are either dead or near dead. They could have filmed that movie, The Blair Witch Project, here. Duckweed covers the smaller pools of water that you come across. And here's our first sight of the Little Manatee River. It's like a reward for having hiked halfway. From here on out, the trail follows the banks of the river. As we continue on, we see several canoes heading downriver. It looks like fun, but not today. Here is one of the best pit stop locations in the park. Have some water and a snack and watch the canoes go by. I bet it would have helped if I turned on the microphone. I'm saying something about how great the next stretch of the hike is. Oh well, I'll remember for next time. The trail winds along the riverbank, but occasionally takes us through some marshland. Now this is an area where we are really looking for snakes. We saw one, but he was too quick to get on video. They say you can see a lot of wildlife here, but it's been fairly quiet for us. Maybe hikers have scared all of the animals off. We haven't seen but a few people, but the parking lot was busy. Thankfully, the boardwalk is here to keep us out of the mud. We did this hike several years back and it was half missing. They did a nice job rebuilding it. This is a great place to cool off in the summer. You'll often see people in the water here. And with that, we've hit the other side of the cross trail. It feels like we're getting close, but there's still at least another 1.5 miles to go. Let's stop for a moment to enjoy this view. The great thing about this park is all of the different sections to it. I would never have expected to see a grassy plain when I started this hike. There's nothing like passing someone going the other way and hearing them yell "snake" from where you just were. It's probably for the best that they saw it and not me. And with that, the loop is done. Time to head out and get some lunch. We found ourselves at Whiskey Joe's on the Manatee River. It's a fairly typical waterside bar with a nice beach area. We asked about getting a table, but there's at least an hour wait. The bar looks like it's open, so we'll sit there. After several hours of hiking, the beer goes down quite easy. I'll have the IPA. The The menu looks fairly extensive, but we're going to keep it simple. Wings and pizza. The only good thing about the pizza was that it was hot. The wings were great though. If you'd rather come by boat, you can do that here. Plenty of boat parking available today. And with that, it's the end of another weekend. We'll catch you next time here at the Weekend Experience. Thanks for watching the video today. If you enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate it if you gave me a like and a subscribe. I appreciate it. Thanks.